Hey guys, Peter Murphy back here again. I know you love the sunglasses. They don't make them as tough as they used to, but here we are on site for another installment of Eyes on Orlando's Orlando Live in the Street. Today we're going to be chatting with OPP's Dana, and she's putting a new spin on old vintage clothing. We'll see what she has to say about style in Orlando. Oh, you down with OPP? Hello, Dana.
Hi,
How are
Peter.
you?
Good to see you.
How are you doing today?
Good, very good.
All right, let's go shopping.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Back.
All right. So, Dana, the shop's in your backyard here.
Oh, a little bit unconventional, but
Yeah.
it works. Yeah.
How do you like that? You know, you don't really have to. There's not much of a commute to go to
No,
work, is
right.
there?
Not much at all. Very convenient.
Do you sometimes work in your PJs?
Absolutely. Yes, I did yesterday actually. Emails all day long. Come on in.
Oh my gosh! So what have you seen? Like, what kind of style have you seen? Like in and around Orlando, change or sort of come up?
I think Orlando is actually progressing a little bit as far as like bringing up the style level. That's what kind of like we're hoping to do is just kind of like see what else is out there. There's been a few more like boutiques open up and just kind of like raising. There's a lot of colleges here, of course, so we've got a lot of young people. Just hopefully like raising the style of Orlando.
Cool. Now here, let's look at some of your stuff. Where do you you got a lot of cool female stuff, and what era would you say most of your clothes are from?
Gosh, I mean that's kind of hard. We really have anything from like I would say 20s and 30s all the way up to all the way up to like the late 80s, 90s. We've got all eras. We've got a lot of stuff that's 50s and 60s, I think. Yeah, some fun stuff.
Now I think traditionally this is for females, right? But I would wear this.
Right.
I would wear this to play basketball in.
Naturally, right? Who doesn't? Yeah, that's how we market it. Right.
Good for everybody. Now, cool. Now, what's your take on vintage fashion? Like, is that the in thing now for you guys? I mean, and for Orlando, really?
I think vintage has always been in style. I mean, like really great style comes back around. So we're seeing a lot of like things that are just that are going to be classic throughout the years. They're not going to go out of style. So if it's really quality made and it will last you a long time, we're just trying to find those quality pieces and bring those out so people are aware that vintage is still like very relevant for today, even though it was maybe made some years ago.
Go dig in your parents' closet, right?
Yeah, grandparents' closet.
Grandparents, everybody, great grandparents.
Exactly.
Just dig them up and then
You can
take
find
their
some
stuff.
amazing things.
Cool. Now, that's a great point. Where do you find all the clothing here? Let's continue to look. Come on.
Sure. Yes, I go to a lot of thrift stores and especially a lot of estate sales, which Florida is actually good for estate sales, and vintage shops, and yes, grandparents, all that kind of stuff.
Anywhere you can find anything sort of trendy that catches your eye.
Yeah, that we think that will really transfer to like what's going on today. Our purpose really isn't to make you look like you stepped off of like the cover of like a 1950s magazine, but to incorporate items into what's going on right now and just still be on trend right now.
Cool. Is there a particular color or a pattern that's in trend right now that you're really happy to bring into the new year, 2011?
Well, I think military is always something that kind of comes back around. So we've got several items, especially for guys and for girls, that, just kind of like military inspired that we really love.
Wicked. And then, like, I don't know, are there any faux pas, really, when you're going vintage? Or is it just pretty much anything goes when you say, all right, I've got this great vintage look? Don't bother me, all right? It's vintage. Or
Right.
is there any sort of faux pas that you can come across?
I think it's just really watching out for the cut.
Mhm.
Sometimes we update things a little bit. Just because it's vintage doesn't mean that it's going to be a great item. But just watching out for the cut, making sure it's in really good condition, something that you can maybe add to something that you already have to not maybe look like, unless that's what you're going for is like, a costume or something like that.
Right.
But just kind of something to incorporate into what you already have.
Cool. Now, my mom wants to know this, and I'm sure everybody out in Eyes on World wants to know this too. Are bell bottoms coming back? Ugh.
I certainly hope not. Bell bottoms didn't quite grab my heart, so yeah, let's hope not. Yeah, I think boot cut is coming back a little bit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
for sure, but that's a little bit more manageable than a full-on bell bottom.
I like that. So how do you style yourself? I mean, I love your necklace, and I love your whole vibe here. You know, what goes into styling you?
Gosh, just kind of whatever catches me. I have kind of like love things casual to like dress up to whatever, just kind of like pieces that catch my eye, wearing them different ways. Yeah, I kind of like all eras, all styles. Kind of just depends on what the day is.
Nothing's off limits.
Right.
Cool. Now let's go around and show me a couple things that you just really love that you might buy for yourself.
Right.
All
Right.
cool.
Absolutely. One of my all-time favorite pieces that I have that we have had in the store recently is this coat,
Ooh.
which if it were in my size, I would not be able to sell it, but absolutely gorgeous. Looks like it's from about the 1940s, 50s, very like Jackie O classic,
Right.
in perfect condition. So, yeah, it's just fun finding really great, amazing pieces. This piece is, one that I definitely love.
Well, you know what? That's great because I think people would they see this and they're like, oh my gosh, I'd love that. But I would go through like 5,000 thrift stores, or you go all around town. How do people contact you like on the web or any other form of communication?
How do they get a hold of us?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've got lots of ways to get a hold of us. Obviously, the main is Facebook. I mean, just such like an easy way to like keep up with what we're doing, sales, events, fashion shoots, blah, blah, blah. So Other People's Property on Facebook. You can also just go to otherpeoplesproperty.com, which is our website, and that just also has like more in depth of like loads and loads of photos and just more articles and things that events that we have going on. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Tumblr. Yeah. You can
Wicked.
email us.
How'd you come up with the name Other People's Property?
Actually, the girl that I started with, Crystal, we started this last year in February, so it's almost 2 years old.
Wow.
She came up with the name. So, yeah, it was the two of us that kind of started it. So, and she has since moved to China.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so she's kind of doing her thing over there, working in an art gallery.
But for the betterment of Central Florida, you have decided to stay here in Orlando.
Right. Here I am.
And I speak for all the people of Orlando, and I do. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to take you through a few accessories to let you know how we can make any vintage piece and add it to your own look to give you kind of like a more vintage feel. So the first item that we're going to look at is actually a pair of men's sunglasses. I guess these could be unisex, but I love these. They've got like the tortoiseshell feel to them. So this is just kind of like a classic thing that you could add to any outfit. Love those. Another favorite piece is this bag up here, which is kind of like with the Chanel vintage feel of like the kind of like 60s era. So that is just like kind of like a fun, easy piece. For the ladies, we've got some cute gloves, which in this little cold spell we've going on might help you keep a little bit warm, but also just add like a really fun little feminine flair. So we've got those. Moving along down here, we've got some glamorous handbags for as you're dressing up for the holidays, or if you're just going to, any party this year round, would just definitely add a very glamorous vintage feel to whatever you've got going on. For the gentlemen, we've got some scarves up there. Nice, adds just like a really, really nice touch to any outfit, and will also keep you warm in these chilly Florida winter months. Another favorite of mine as far as accessories is scarves. Scarves are just really versatile, and for me, I kind of have a thing with just putting them in my hair. So, yeah, so it's just kind of like a fun way of like adding a little bit of touch, or you can just wear them like around your neck, or however you want to, maybe even wrap it around your wrist for like a little bit of an extra bit of color and just kind of a fun touch. So yeah, those are a few pieces and a few ways to update your wardrobe a little bit, and to also just use what's already out there to incorporate into what you've got going on today.
That's very cool. Other people's property, and it can be yours.
Other people's property. You got it.
All right, so thanks for letting us inside the shop here. I know you're busy, diligently working, but we'll see you soon. And thanks for styling me.
Of course, anytime. That's what I love to do.
Awesome. I'll see you later, Dana.
Thank you. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. See ya.
Bye, guys.